Hello there, it's Simone. Happy 2021. I am here to share my 2021 planner and journal lineup. And I have 5 books that I hope and plan to use on a regular basis. And then I have 4 that are my sidekicks. But let me start first with what I'm using for planning. Then I'll hop into the journaling, and then I'll explain what the Sidekick journals are for. None of the things that I'm using are completely new. Some of the planners, if they're dated, obviously are new, but none of the systems that I'm using are new. This is a traveler's notebook in passport size. It's the camel color. I purchased this from a Facebook group. It was used but looked pretty new, and it works perfectly. I like the size, and I used the cardstock that came around my Happy Dia stickers to make kind of like a dashboard or a folder. I don't have any pockets or anything, just because I like the think happy, be happy in this. So I just inserted it here. And I haven't set this up in any way, shape or form yet. Let me check if I have the old one. It is going to be my goals notebook. I put in here my word of the year. I put in my aspirations, what I mean by healthy for 2020. I write down my monthly goals every month. I wrote out my budget and put down in and out. And then I also started doing this overview of my highlights, challenges, and accomplishments for month on one spread, just to quickly see and reflect on each month. And at the end of the year, I want to go through and see what was good, what was bad, just so that I can find my new focus for this year, for 2021, and see what I want to improve on and where I need to put energy in, because these are things that I enjoy. And so I just went through this every month. I usually used red pen to write in what I accomplished and what I didn't, or just any other color. Obviously, when we had the lockdown and the pandemic, I wasn't as good at planning, so I have May, June just passed me by, move on, July, then August, September, and I also didn't even write down any highlights. I decided that everything is fine and perfect like this, and since this is full now, I am going to use another passport insert from my stash. This time it is grid. It is the Traveler's Notebook from the Traveler's Company in grid size, the grid option, again passport size, and I will use this notebook exactly the same way as I have used this one. I started using this in 2019, and so I'm just going to use this continuously until it's full. And probably if it's going to work out the same way as it did in the past 2 years, this will probably last me for another 1.5 to 2 years. So that's my goals notebook. And from here, wow, now I don't know how to express myself. From these goals, I take the next steps that I need to do in order to make those goals happen. Those go into my monthly next actions list. So I use this Filofax A5 original. This is the duck egg color. and I am not treating my planners, I'm not keeping them pristine. I'm using them, I'm putting them places where they might be sticky. I put them on the ground outside when I take photos, and so they will be used and they will scuff. That's totally okay. On camera it looks a lot bluer than it actually is. This has a very greenish tint in real view, and here I use this for monthly planning. I have realized the last 6 months when I was in a Hobonichi Cousin as planner and journal that I really need the size, this A5 size for monthly planning. If I want to use a monthly overview, it needs to be this big to work for me. My handwriting is big, and anything else is just, anything smaller just looks nice, but it's not functional for me. This works, and so that's what I'm going to go with in 2021. I have my lists for my monthly to-do list in here. I have ideas that I write, that I take in my weekly reviews. At the end of the month I will have a list of things that I might want to revisit or not. I revisit them at the end of the month, and then I decide if it's just something that was an idea but nothing else is going to happen from this, or if I want to do this and when it's going to happen. I have my YouTube schedule in here, planning around that, ideas, all that is in here. I have a collection, what you would in a bullet journal would call these collections, and that's why I also started adding an index. I haven't finished putting it together yet, but I have my weekly review in here. I reference kind of my reference section, my wish list, what else? My wish list, 2022 planner ideas, lists of presents for family and friends, birthdays, paying my rent, and then every month I make a list of in and outgoing money that is on this page, and then at the end of the month I archive it at the back of this section. And then in section number 4 I have my cleaning overview. So that is something that I reference when I plan out my month. And then this section is all the projects that I'm working on or that I plan to work on. And then these are more real life references, like a vet number, doctor information, car information, school information, all that goes in here. And that's it. I even have my checkbook for my monthly rental check. And then I started a garden journal in 2020. I haven't really used it. This is a free printable from Printable Kate. And I actually plan on printing this and maybe using it again, because it really is interesting to see when things sprout, how well everything went. But for that, I actually need to use it then. And that's this. So this and this make up my monthly planning. I set my goals every month. I make my to-do list. I have my monthly in here, my YouTube, my cleaning. All of this is what I need to do, or I extract all my to-dos and put them on my monthly to-do list from all of this information. And then every week or daily I use this. This is a Chic Sparrow pocket notebook. I have no idea about the leather. I also have no idea the color. None of this. I don't know how old this is. I traded it for a different notebook with someone, and I use a pocket insert to make my daily to-do list. I write down the monthly to-do list or weekly to-do list right here that I take from my monthly to-do list, and if some of the to-dos from the previous week haven't been finished and need to be done, I will add them to this weekly to-do list. I make an Instagram list, a weekly tracker, which actually works pretty good. I haven't enjoyed tracking. I have never really benefited from it, but this actually is working right now, and so I'm just gonna keep doing it until I'm done. And then when this notebook is done, I think I said before, I'm not sure if I'm going to move into a different size, but I really enjoy that this is so small that I can put it into leave it in my hands. It has almost the same size as my phone. And it works well. I only need this pen and I can carry it with me anywhere. Can leave it open on the table. It's not taking up a lot of space. So I'm probably going to stay in this size. I have also used a pocket rings for a while in 2018, I think, and I did love this size. I just didn't, the way I was planning in there just didn't work out, and so I moved on to something else. But so the pocket size, I know that I enjoy pocket size. And the interesting thing is, even though I'm using the Passport, I really enjoy the slimmer look of this for my daily and weekly to-dos compared to this. Can't really tell because it's not huge. It's just maybe 1 centimeter on the top, and how wide. It's a tiny sliver, I think. I don't even know if it's actually smaller. Let me take this out. Oh, I have one right here. So it's actually the same width, but it's higher. And yeah, I have no idea why this makes such a difference for me. I really enjoy this a lot. And so I'm just going to keep on using this and see how that goes. I do need to visualize my weeks in a vertical format. I seem to be very visual, and even if I only have it on my computer, it just doesn't move into my head. I need to sit down and visualize my week in order for it to work for me. And so I am going to go with this weekly insert from Hobonichi. And since I'm not having any expectations for prettiness, I don't plan to use any stickers. I might, because I do still want to use up things that I have in my stash that might fit this, but this is not something that it doesn't need to be pretty. It just needs to work for the need that I have, which is to visualize time blocks and see how much time there is. And then when I already know that on Wednesday I have 5 hours time, then I will do a deep clean of my house. Then I will put my deep clean right here, so I know in advance that this is the day that I have allotted for that task, if that makes sense. So that is my planning. I don't know how this is going to evolve. For now, it works really well, and we will see how things go in 2021. I'll definitely take you along for the ride. I'm planning on filming flip-throughs every month and updating you on how things are going. So that is planning. Then journaling. I am actually going back to something I have done in 2020 and skipped lots of months, and then I am switching it up slightly. In the last 6 months, I have used a Hobonichi Cousin avec. So that is the half-year notebook in A5 size. Cousin is A5. And I had used it for planning and journaling, and then transitioned. In October, I transitioned my planning out of this book into here and here, and kept it as just as a journal. And I really enjoyed that. But when I moved out of it, I realized that I actually did not need the pages to be dated, and that this might be something that would stress me. I am very prone to put stress onto myself without even having to do that. And so I'd rather not put that stress on me when I know that this is something that I want to enjoy. I also, the regular Cousin has weekly pages. This Day Free doesn't. And even though I enjoyed decorating my weekly spreads for memory keeping, in order to make it work and not a chore, and in order to make it enjoyable, I would need to sit down every day and keep it current, because otherwise it would just be too overwhelming for me. And so I made the decision that I will go back to the Hobonichi Cousin that I had been using in the beginning of the year, and already also started using back in November again. I'm trying to catch up in the weeks as we speak. But for 2021, I want to use it very similar to the way that I had been using it last year. So I am going to decorate the right page. I am going to write a word, document what I did each day. Just like, let me check for a week that I can show you, like this. Decoration on the right side, and then just really very quickly 1 or 2 things that happened that week. And it is something that I really enjoy. It is very doable. I don't have to do this every day. I can allot maybe an hour. If it has to be really fast, 30 minutes of time on the weekend to finish a spread, and then everything is done. I know that I'm looking forward to the weekend creativity, and so that will definitely work out fine. That's my plan for the weekly section. I have no plans for the monthlies in 2020. I used the monthlies kind of like Happy Mail junk yard. I might be doing this again. I might be putting Happy Mail things in here. This is just open, and I am neither mad nor sad if none of this will be used. Also, if none of the note pages will be used. My main focus are the weekly spreads. What I'm planning to do, though, is doing a kind of planner and journaling lineup in the first monthlies, just to get an overview. I think this is a nice place to preserve how I started, and maybe then go back at the end and see if I'm still there. The Day Free I will just use as a journal and a notebook for any creative idea, journaling prompt, Happy Mail documentation, anything that I have been using my Hobonichi Cousin in the past 3 months for. I will be using that the same way. And then I will be using the monthlies every day to just write down what we did every day, so that when I am going to sit down on the weekends, that I have a place to refer to. I think it is very doable since the squares are very tiny. I'm not going to write novels every day. It's just tiny snippets of the day in here, so that when I sit down at the end of the week, I don't have to like look through my planner. Well, what did I do? Was there something that happened that I didn't write anywhere? That's where this goes. And I think just writing like 5 bullet points for each day at every day is something much more doable for me. I have more time, and that's the reason why I actually decided to scale down. I really enjoyed using the Cousin in the way that I did, but it meant that I did not have any other time for anything creative outside of the Cousin. It would be always, I would always have to make the decision, am I going to knit or am I going to stay current in the Cousin? Am I going to journal in a different notebook? Am I going to create something else? Or am I going to fill the pages in my Cousin? And I really enjoy using the Cousin, and I think I will enjoy using it more. I hope that this is how it's going to turn out. But since this is a slight change, I have no idea how it's going to affect the whole planning and journaling situation. I have realized that sometimes making small changes to something have a really huge ripple effect, and it's not something that I know now what will happen, because I don't have besides the daily bullet points, I have no reason to use this anymore, except for me making the decision to journal about something, being exhausted, or documenting Happy Mail, or like I have to make the conscious decision to use it. And yeah, we will see how often I will make that decision. This book has 171 empty pages, and I have no concerns that I will run out of space or not run out of space and have lots of empty pages. I really will just use this every time I think I need and want to use this, and when it's done and I still have lots of time left in the year, then I will find something else to use. I am going to use this in the Midori MD cover, and I ripped it just the other day, so while I'm still figuring out if I want to add any more stickers or decoration to the cover, I'm just folding it around until I say okay, for now I'm done, and then I'm going to put it in, because I really don't want to buy a new one. I just want to keep on using this until it completely falls apart. All right, let's move on to my Sidekick journals. I'm just going to talk really quickly about those. This is a personal size traveler's notebook that I made myself from an old handbag, super expensive handbag that I never really used. And I'm very, very happy that I made the decision to cut it apart and make a traveler's notebook out of it. Maybe not about the size, because I'm not really using personal size anymore. But I'm really happy that I found something I can use in here. I have started an ink journal and swatching inks that I have. I don't really have many full bottles of ink, but I do have lots of samples. And so I just document these samples in here. And I think that's totally what I'll be continuing doing, is not purchasing ink bottles. I really enjoy playing with different colored inks for now. So that's how I'm going to use, that's the first insert. Second one is still empty. It is a Paper Penguin Co. insert that I purchased several years ago in a grab bag when I was using personal sized traveler's notebook for planning. and I want to make a washi collection notebook just for fun, but that hasn't happened yet. So, but I put it in here so that I can use it when I am ready to sit down and put all my washi tapes in here. This houses my knitting journal. I put update pictures, the project, the yarn that I'm using in here, and when it's finished, I add an image of the finished project. And so far I have 2 B6 notebooks in here, and yeah, so this is something that I update maybe quarterly, and then I put it back onto the shelf and wait until I'm using it again. This is originally a traveler's notebook cover from Mystic's Little Gifts, and I had Yayi from Eberhard Studio add these pockets so that I can use it as a folio for a Stalogy. I haven't used the B6 Stalogy yet, so I decided to put my knitting journal in here because I really love the leather and I want to use it for something. This I haven't used in 2020. I haven't used in a long time. I started this notebook when I was 16, so that is now 26 years ago. Is that correct? I'm 43, 16 plus 26 is not true. 27 years ago, for poems and affirmations. My sister wrote a poem out for me, so I stuck it in here. There's still pages left, and I have been saving lots of inspirational quotes, poems, stuff that I would like to write someplace. I could write it here for sure. I might do that, but I just pulled it out the other day and thought maybe I can just add those in here and say I finished a notebook after 27 years or 28. So yeah, that is something that I might want to do. I also might maybe move then into a different journal so that I have the quotes separately. Not sure about that. That's why I pulled this out. I really like the idea, so you might see this in an upcoming video. And then for my Use It Up challenge, I have been using this Smash book that I have had for years as well. And I have just added stickers, things that I really like, but I don't have a use for right now. And so I have created these sticker pages. And again, I might be using this or not. We will see. But this is something that I have been doing as well when I just needed to be creative without using my brain a lot. And especially when I'm done with a month of my Use It Up stuff, then I really enjoy sticking the things that I like but don't really know how somewhere so I can keep them. Alrighty, then this is everything I have right now. Let's see how this is going to evolve over the course of the year. I will definitely film updates throughout the year, and I hope you are off to a great start. If you have filmed a lineup video, please leave it in the description, in the comments, not this description. If you are a YouTuber and you have filmed a lineup video, I would love for you to leave the link to your video in the comments below. And if you just want to share what you're using, I'm super curious. Let me know in the comments, how are you going to start off 2021? I will see you in the comments and chat with you then. And until the next video, bye.